maggot stinks.
Okay, what is it?
It's a little baby.
Pleasant Grove police received this chilling 911 call. Upon arrival, they met Darren West, who was visibly shaken after speaking with his wife, Megan Huntsman, about the grim discoveries in his garage.
And I just said, what the hell is this? What have you done? I always found something. She goes, oh, you did?
Get that for.
Don't pop, please. Don't pop, please. I'm gonna get it.
As they stepped into the garage, they had no idea the horrors that awaited them inside.
I remember there being some sort of form of tape. As we got deeper into that box, we'd find a second child.
There could be more. Like I said, I can't remember a damn thing.
How many do you think there would be?
They found that in their house?
Holy what is going on?
Wait, what? How the fuck? How did someone kill someone and then, like, dump it in your house? In GTA. How does this happen? I don't feel like the cops are asking the right questions here, to be quite honest. If that's in their house, and that dude just happens to stumble upon two kids in a fucking garbage bin in GTA. Anyway, I just some shit's not adding up. I'm keeping it.
On April 12th, 2014, Darren had just returned home after serving time in prison for drug charges.
Hold on. I think that's all we need to hear. Guilty. I feel like. I mean, come on, bro. Come on. Right. Keep it going.
Only to stumble upon a horrifying scene in his garage and made this disturbing 911 call.
Pleasant Grove Police.
Oh, yes, ma'am. Can I have an officer come to this address?
And your name?
My name's Darren West. I just found something in my garage. I think it's a miscarriage.
Can you be more specific? What do you mean by a miscarriage you found?
I have no idea. Just please send an officer up here.
It sounds like you may need medical.
It's been wrapped up in a plastic bag and it stinks.
Okay, what is it?
It's a little baby.
When police arrived at Pleasant Grove, Utah, they saw the garage.
Wait a minute, bro. That thing has got to be guilty. You weren't peeping the shit I was peeping, bro. He said, I think it's a miscarriage. And then that nigga said, it's a little baby, bro. If it's a miscarriage, the kid dies on birth in GTA. All right?
That's true, bro. That's true.
And he said it's a little baby.
Okay, but because you know he has a daughter, right?
I didn't hear that.
Okay, because who is that girl, that younger girl? Let's just say that's maybe his daughter, right?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, bro. I don't know. Shit's
lost.
not adding up, but it's adding up.
I'm fucking lost here.
Are you seeing?
Let's get deeper in and we
it's
can.
adding up, but it's not.
Door
Last
wide
time, pause the
open,
video.
and Darren stood outside with his family, who had come to help him move in. Just one look at him, and the officers knew they were in for something dreadful.
Who lives here? 1, 2, 3.
Alright, bro, let's lock in.
Double house, the basement and the upstairs are two different.
My two daughters live here. See, we've been cleaning the garage.
Okay.
And then gotten a 48-hour pass. And I have...
Yes. We went on home and down in the halfway house. You've been cleaning out the garage.
I'm trying to get, because I've been gone for so long. And
Anyway, there was a box over there. It was all wrapped up. And he says, what is this?
The box in question was an ordinary-looking fruit box, sitting just outside the garage, and its exterior was tightly sealed with electrical tape. Inside, they found a bag, also wrapped in layer upon layer of duct tape, as if someone desperately wanted to keep whatever was inside, hidden forever. When the investigators finally peeled it open, what they...
Why would he keep it in a box? Why would he not just... I mean, sad to say, but like, why would he not just...
Get rid of it?
Or throw the box away? Why would he keep it in the garage?
See, I don't think it's him now.
Okay, but like, that's like... Okay, bro, like, you gotta be dumb. Like, it's sad to say, but like, why would you do that?
Why didn't you just dump the body?
Yeah, why would you just keep it in a box?
In GTA.
That doesn't make any sense to me.
They discovered would haunt them for years to come. It was the lifeless body of a fully decomposed baby.
There were boxes from floor to ceiling on all three walls. There's hundreds of boxes. How are we going to get through all of these? So we contacted the medical examiner's office, and they sent out an investigator. Bewilderment, shock. I was speechless. How could you fathom something like that? The big obvious question is what is this child doing here? Who's the mother? Where did it come from?
The officers quickly sealed off the scene, unsure of what had truly happened. But one thing was clear. It was now a homicide investigation. They began searching the area, moving from box to box, not knowing that what they had just uncovered was just the beginning of a much darker and more chilling story. But the question was, where was Megan? Right now, she was the only person who could hold the answers to this troubling mystery.
Let's start off with, is it your wife?
Fuck is
Or your
Megan?
girlfriend?
I'm still married to her, but
Okay, so legally, according to law, it's still your wife.
yes, sir.
Okay, why don't you tell me what her name is?
Megan Huntsman. What happened is when I went to prison,
I think
she
him and his wife aren't
stuck
together
around for 2 or 3 years and she took off.
But she is with a boyfriend now
Where is she?
in West Valley somewhere. We just had her on the phone. She said it was his.
And I just said, what the hell is this? What have you done? And I always found something. She goes, oh, you did?
Get that for.
Don't publicly, don't publicly something did it.
So she said it was yours. Logically, is that true?
I don't know, man. I never knew she named it.
So, for the time being, the officers focused on Megan to understand about the unfolding events.
So this is Megan.
Are you able to help us understand what's going on here? It was a miscarriage.
It was like 9 years ago when we first left.
And how far into your pregnancy were you?
It was born, stillborn.
How soon can you come down here? Our detectives need to ask you some follow-up questions so that we can, rule out any kind of foul play.
Okay, there was no foul play.
Okay, listen to me. I need you to stay at your residence. We're going to have a West Valley City officer come pick you up.
It wasn't just Darren who was disturbed. The neighbors had also noticed a strange, foul smell coming from the garage. As more officers arrived at the scene, they were tasked with meticulously searching every inch of the property of what was quickly becoming known as the House of Horror. Meanwhile, Megan was brought in for questioning by Detective Beckstrom. His first goal was to understand why she had hidden the baby, instead of reporting it to the authorities or seeking medical help. However, in a few moments, the story took a turn more twisted than ever.
Well, you know why we're here, what we're here to talk about. Just start at the beginning and tell me what happened.
Well, we were doing drugs a lot. That's what he was in prison for. I got pregnant right before he left, and I really didn't know because I thought it was just stress and stuff.
And he went to prison in 2006.
Yeah,
How far along were you when he
for
went
a
in?
couple months.
Where did you have the baby?
No.
So my understanding, as of right now, is that she had the kid. The kid passed away, and she just kept it in there because she was too scared to do anything with it. This is what I'm picking up.
Well, it sounds like the dude. So the dude.
The dude was he's automatically out of it.
But the dude Darren was in. So that dude Darren was in jail, and this is his kid that he just found. Technically, right?
I know, but you wouldn't see a corpse after fucking.
I don't. Keep going.
9
We
years.
don't have enough details.
In the house that you and Darren lived in. Describe to me what happened.
Well, I was having a lot of pain that day. I didn't go to work. My kids were at school, and I went in the bathroom and just sat there and was pushed really hard. And I was blue and wasn't crying. And I was by myself, and I didn't know what to do. And I couldn't get it to cry or anything.
Then what happened?
I got scared, and I wrapped it up. Me not being smart and calling you guys, I was in shock. It was stupid of me to do it.
What do you mean when you say you wrapped it up?
Well, it sounds like the baby was already dead when she had it.
It was towels or garment bag or something. I put it in a box.
What would you have done differently? Looking back.
Called the cops and told them that I had a baby and that I couldn't get to breathe.
Why is this motherfucker giving her post?
Megan repeated the same story she had told Darren, that the baby had been a stillborn. Despite appearing visibly upset, there were many details in Megan's account that just didn't add up.
So you're on the toilet, you have the baby. You said you tried to get it to breathe. What did you do?
Well, I like tried to clean his mouth out and stuff, and
yes.
I couldn't get a response at all.
Okay.
I couldn't feel a heartbeat or anything.
Okay. So you clean the baby's mouth out, try to get it to breathe, and then what?
I passed out for a little bit. I think I lost a lot of blood. And then when my kids got home from school, and I just told them I wasn't feeling well. And then I cleaned myself up and I went and got a box.
And then, as far as you know, unless someone else moved it, the baby's been in the box in the garage since that first year that Darren went to prison. Okay.
Nigga, what year did this happen?
So that was like 2006, and it's now 2014.
Were you worried somebody else would find it? when you guys were
Yeah,
cleaning the
bro,
garage?
like that.
Yeah.
And so what would you do to make sure that didn't happen?
I just kind of slide it and like sweep around, and then set stuff on it, and well, they knew that part was already clean and stuff.
You know how fucked up that
Megan's
is to
story
see
seemed
your
like a
fucking
justification. With her husband gone to prison, she was left overwhelmed with stress and was deeply influenced by drugs which clouded her state of mind. But the more the detective
It's gonna
spoke with
get
her,
crazier.
the more their doubts grew.
Because I was so scared, I don't know what I was thinking. I have no idea.
Do you remember if the baby was a boy or a girl? So, did anyone know that you were pregnant?
I don't
This
show
low-key
it
sounds
all.
like a cover up.
Did you tell Darren?
No.
Okay. Had you ever had any
It's just like-
stillborn babies prior to that? And on these miscarriages, did they all
Already
happen
happened
at
in
home?
What happened at home?
All right. Is there anything else that
Was
you
that
think
when
I
she
should
had
have
the
asked you
passive
that I haven't
habit?
asked you?
So,
Is there anything
It's
else
just
that
stats
you want me to know? Do we really want
Bro,
the
her
right thing
stats
for
have
this
got to
baby,
be
proper
amongst the
burial,
worst.
closure for you and for your family? Your husband went to prison. You're raising the kids on your
Imagine her
own.
getting it like you
You're
do,
overwhelmed,
like,
and I can understand that. I mean, Darren just found out that
That's
he
fucked.
had another kid that he didn't know about. So,
I already totally understand that.
what do you think proper closure looks like? Anything else?
Me going to jail.
Well, it's clear that you think you should go to jail for this, that you recognize you've done something wrong. We haven't made any decisions like that. We're still just trying to put the story together at this point.
What struck as odd was Megan's fear of going to jail if the baby was truly a stillborn. If no crime had been committed, aside from the unlawful disposal of the body, why did she carry such a heavy guilt? There was something deeper she wasn't saying, and the detective could feel it.
That's a good point, though.
Meanwhile, at the house, the officers pressed on
No,
with their
because
search,
she's saying that
which
she should go to jail, and then they just said that if the baby was a stillborn, it died when it came out, right?
Okay.
And all she did wrong was dispose of the body. She didn't call the authorities, right? That's her only crime that she really committed was.
So she just snitched on herself.
Yo, so that's what she said. Like, I should go to jail. But they're saying why would you have to go to jail if you technically didn't really commit? The only crime you committed was the way that you disposed of the body. You see what I'm saying here?
I'm picking up what you're
Okay,
saying.
yeah, okay.
I'm picking it
That's-
up.
that's what
led
they're-
them
that's
to
what they're
another
thinking.
suspicious box.
You should do this.
Inside, they
I'm thinking-
uncovered a
I'm just
deeply
thinking-
disturbing scene.
I'm not.
That was just the start.
I remember there being some sort of form of tape over it, and then as we opened it up, there's heavy padding and packaging, more plastic wrap. As we got deeper into that box, we did ultimately find a second child. I felt angry, and
You just missed it.
What?
I remember
They
thinking,
just found a second child.
what in the actual hell is going on?
Each box they opened carried an overpowering stench, with a strange liquid seeping through the bottom of the bags inside.
She had fucking
The
feelings.
officers immediately reported it to Detective Beckstrom, who confronted Megan in hopes to get answers. But nothing could have prepared him for her response.
Oh shit,
We
let's
have
lock in.
investigators in the house right now. They found a second baby. Will you please tell me about that?
There's more. Hey, I'm sorry. I have hit every one of them, and he has.
Every
Every one of them?
Every one.
There's others? How many?
I'm not even sure. I've done so many drugs.
Oh my god.
Was she just getting pregnant after just
Who
getting?
was fucking her?
Well, I think it had to be Darren.
No. You can't. Okay, bro. 3 times.
It had to be Darren though.
Okay, but how does? Oh, the baby was on.
Yeah, she was on drugs. That's why the baby keeps dying.
In GTA, bro. But anyways, like I don't know, but she couldn't. If that was okay, unless the third time, the first one they found was the latest one, it had to have been someone else.
Okay, but how many? Okay, keep going. We don't know how many babies there are. We'll draw a conclusion after this.
Bring it all I can remember.
When?
All through the years.
Megan had a long history of drug abuse, particularly methamphetamine, and was known to drink heavily as well. These addictions had ruined her ability to make rational decisions, but they were no excuse for taking a life. Despite her claims it was clear she was still hiding something, a truth so gruesome which would shake everyone to the core.
And if it's easier for you to remember, if we want to start after you had your first child, when you had the first miscarriage.
One, right after the din, I can't even remember. I remember running out of the tub. They were all stillborn. Every one of them.
Were they full term?
No, without pain.
Okay, so how many do you think will we find in the garage?
Four.
Did
My nigga. How the fuck were they living? Okay. Shit's not adding up, bro. How the fuck did the kids never get nervous? Not nervous. How'd they never be like, yo, it smells like shit in here, mom. We should go like clean out the garage.
Okay, but bro,
I feel like finding a fucking corpse.
Bro, at some point, someone's gotta recognize you're pregnant after. Okay, I understand like sometimes people don't show they're pregnant, but bro, if you have 4 of them and then randomly no one shows up, like there's no baby there to show. You see what I'm saying? That makes no sense whatsoever.
Bro.
You're getting pregnant. You have 4 miscarriages, right? At least one of them you gotta show a bump.
Have to.
At least one of them.
No, but she has a couple kids already.
That's what I'm saying, bro. And like shit's not adding up, bro. I'm so lost.
No, I'm dead ass lost because. And I'm not gonna lie, if I'm a nosy ass kid, bro,
Okay,
like,
so I'm thinking
it smells like ass.
She has 7 kids. Okay.
I'm gonna go into the fucking garage, like, yo, it smells like ass. Be like, oh shit, there's a box right there.
Yeah, bro, like that's what I'm saying. Like I'm going in to grab a water to the garage and it smells like fucking badus. Like
yes,
bro, like at some point you gotta be like, all right, bro, what the fuck's this?
Yeah, exactly, 100%.
There's badus coming from every corner.
Yes,
fucking. You put all 4 in the garage.
Yeah.
Did you keep them in the same place in the garage? What did you? Right
It's
there.
covered.
Okay, and so all 4 boxes are in the same place. Okay, I just want to be able to relay to the detectives what they're gonna find. And so all 4
Yes.
are in the cabinet in the garage.
Yes.
What the hell?
Why didn't you call for help?
I'm afraid of people know I'm pregnant.
I mean, this is Utah. It's not common for people to have a lot of kids.
Oh,
Like,
because I was young, because I was so young.
several years later, though, when this happened, I mean, you're not so young.
I know. But like I said, the drugs, they mess with you. Bad.
So you're telling me that because you were on drugs, you weren't making good decisions?
Yeah, exactly.
Does it feel better to tell the truth?
Well, yeah, he fucking knew that. And I think he's trying to get more information on it.
No, he's a detective, bro. He's being...
After hearing that more bodies
That's
were
what they
hidden
get
in
you,
the
bro. They
garage,
ask you dumb
Detective
questions, those
Beckstrom
dumb
quickly
questions are the ones
contacted
they
the
need.
officers
So
on the
fucking
scene.
weird.
Over 20 to 30 officers combed through every inch of the house, searching for hours. And while the investigation continued, so did the interrogation.
You know, we've talked about a lot. I don't know yet. We haven't made those decisions because we're doing the search warrant still. Because of the seriousness of this, they are also going to obtain a search warrant for your house in West Valley. Is there anything at that house that we need to know about before we go up there?
For me, no. All that's up there is my clothes.
Okay. So you have the babies been in the garage the whole time?
I never moved them or anything. But yeah, they've been in the garage the whole time.
So we're talking 8 years ago.
Yes.
I mean, you told me earlier that you put the boxes with the babies in them in the cabinet.
Yeah.
Did you ever take them out of that cabinet?
No.
I imagine in the last 9 years, stuff's been in and out of the
I
cabinet.
had
9
so, 'cause
years,
I was just
kids
there
are in there.
a month or so ago getting my bed and stuff out of there, and I seen it sitting there.
Right. And so did
I guess
anyone in the world
if she
know
never showed that she was pregnant,
that the baby was in the garage?
I guess there's be no reason for anyone to question. I guess that's what makes sense.
So
Well, they're saying one of the boxes was on a stack of shelves next to the cabinet. Why would it be there?
Unless I moved it or something, but it's not thinking.
Do you know when that might have been?
Before I left, I did. I mean, I haven't been in that house. I've only once since I moved out.
It was painfully evident that this case was far from straightforward. While it wasn't unheard of for a woman to hide a pregnancy, but doing so multiple times raised serious doubts. The idea seemed almost impossible to believe, and as the detectives pieced things together, a chilling realization began to take shape.
I want to make sure that there's no more weight on your shoulders. Okay. When you have these babies,
Yes.
you said after they were born and they were blue and you would try to get them to breathe. What would you do to try to get them to breathe?
Sometimes I was so scared, you know.
I don't.
Sorry,
Did she was on so many drugs? I mean, you gotta give her.
Damn.
Did you have like the suction cup they used to clean out their mouths? You described you had the one in the tub that you'd fill the tub and had.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah,
Was that baby alive when it was born?
I think it was.
No, she
For
just,
short
now
break.
she just self-incriminated
Why?
herself.
Well, you think if I have baby in the house, I just cry, so it'll get, you know.
Mm-hmm. Well, you say you think it was for a short time. What
Yeah.
was it moving? Did it start to breathe?
No, it wasn't breathe. I could see a little heartbeat and then it stopped.
This bitch fucking lied. She said they were all stillborn.
Not very long at all.
Okay. The one that you had
To be fair, these
when
babies
he was in
are
prison,
born,
they
bro,
were on the
like,
toilet.
they would have been
Was that
so
one right when it was born?
She was obviously doing
Okay.
drugs while she was
Where were the
doing
other two
pregnancy,
born?
So
One of them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. The one on the bed when it was born. Do you think it might have been alive for a short time as well?
she had one on the bed and no one noticed.
Detective
like,
Beckstrom was
stuff
left
on the
stunned
bed.
when Megan finally admitted the unthinkable.
Oh,
It
shit.
wasn't an accident, but actual murders.
I knew that.
So now he asked her the final make or break question.
Did you kill the baby after it was born? What we need is the truth.
I did one of those.
I fucking do it.
Bro,
I could be a
Which one?
goddamn detective.
Bro, I mean,
No, I was just so scared. I was so on drugs so bad. I get
How did you? Okay.
yeah.
Oh.
Do you think all four of these babies were alive when they were born?
I'm pretty sure one of them wasn't.
bro, she just
Did
said,
you kill the
bro,
others?
lock her up. Pack her
Yes,
up, bro.
I
I
did.
sure didn't know. I'd pack her up right there.
And
I would pack her
you
up
just
right
put them in a towel, put them in garbage bags, and then put them in a box and put it in the garage.
These fucking babies were lying. She's
So
putting
one
on
was
towels
dead
and
when it
throwing
was
them
born, and the other three.
Only one was.
And why did you?
I think it was the first one that she said was the one that actually died. Back her up, bro. I sure didn't know.
Have you ever told anyone this?
No, I've never told us all.
So when we run DNA tests, will they all be Darren's?
Yes, they will.
Bro.
Is there anything else we need to know about?
Darren? Darren has 4 kids. 3 out of 4 she killed. One of them died.
In GTA.
As the detective left the room, he could barely contain the emotions that overwhelmed him. It had been the hardest interrogation of his career.
Once I'm out of her sight, my hands went to my knees, and I had to take several breaths to really process.
I don't blame the guy, bro. I don't blame him. That's how ridiculous.
Holy
bro.
Shit's nuts.
She had killed these babies.
Back at the crime scene, the officers had been searching the garage for over 3 hours, and the unease they felt couldn't be measured. No one could have predicted what other surprises lay in store for them.
Bro, don't tell
This
me.
was probably one of the longest days in my career. It was emotionally straining, physically exhausting, and the feeling in the air was dread, but also determination to find out what in the hell actually had happened. Eventually, we found baby number 3.
It didn't take long before the officers found the third body, packed tightly in a box and sealed with layers of duct tape. When they carefully opened it, they found the body to be wrapped in a plastic bag and covered in vinyl. As their search continued, they uncovered a 4th body, followed by a 5th, hidden under 2 blankets and 2 bath
5th?
tiles in the bottom left corner of a cubby. But just when they thought they had seen it all, the biggest shock was still about to come.
I'm told that there is a 5th baby found at the home. Now it's becoming almost exhausting. How many could there be? And what is going on?
Baby, bro. I fucking told you this couldn't be Darren, bro.
Right, Megan, I'm really happy with how far you've come, but I'm concerned that you haven't told me everything. How many do you think there possibly could be?
Honestly, I don't know how many. 4 I can think of, but I don't.
Okay, they are up to 5. And so now that there's 5, are you still only certain that one of them was dead when it was born? And so the other 4 were alive?
There could be more. Like I said, I can't remember a damn thing.
How many do you think there would be?
Bro, what the fuck am I
I'd
listening
say
to?
8 or 9.
Oh, 9, what the fuck? 8 or 9? Okay, but this is not even a span of the last 8. This is a span since 24. Bro, this is a span since like the 2000s.
Well, no, it's
like 2000.
Okay, bro.
This
For
is
it to
like
be an
2001
actual
now.
corpse, it'd have to be at least 20 weeks.
No, I think they're saying these are full. They're not full term, but they're full babies, bro. For it to be a corpse, like they're
Yeah, it'd have to be at least 20
That's
weeks.
what I'm saying. At least like the 7 to 8 months.
How long does it take for a baby to? Oh, it only said 40 weeks, but that's not a full body. But I think the second trimester is it.
When they're done searching the garage, they are going to search the rest of the house. Will they find any more?
No.
Okay. So there could be 8 or 9.
Yeah, there could be. But I know there's no more than that. And I know there's none in the house. I mean, you'd know if they were in the house.
Right.
8 or
Did the smell from the
9.
garage ever
Darren's
come
been
in the
living
house?
with 8 or 9 corpses, bro, in GTA every
They'll
night,
just be out
and he
in the
has
garage.
no fucking
No,
clue.
I think he's
People said it
moving
was
in.
some smell, you know?
Or some
Came
shit.
out,
Moving
go
back in from
somewhere.
prison.
We had cats and
Oh, he's
stuff,
back from
you
prison
know,
now.
and I
Yes.
just-
Oh, okay.
I think it was always just blamed on that.
Did you just leave it open?
Darren was going fucking crazy in the paint, bro.
And you're saying
I
Darren's
think
never
he
knew?
was, bro.
No, what I told you, only me. I've kept this to myself for 18 years.
Makes
So
sense.
I'm the
18
only
years.
person that you've ever told.
Yes.
The numbers kept growing, but the officers knew they had to proceed with caution. The line of questioning soon shifted, as Detective Beckstrom began to consider
what the fuck's
Darren's
Darren
possible
at now? Where the
involvement
fuck is
due to
Darren?
something Megan had said earlier during the interrogation that had caught his attention.
When I talked to you earlier, you mentioned that Darren should have known. What do you mean by that? Did you tell her?
No. And I don't know why. I think my mind was just so out of it. You know,
Yeah.
I didn't even.
I keep thinking I'm solving something and I just keep getting lost.
But how can you not know?
Drug
How can you sleep with someone
figure it out.
every
Yes,
night
for
and not
sure.
know that?
When we're talking about Darren knowing that you were pregnant because he's in your bed, those aren't miscarriages. And so did you just tell him that you miscarried?
Yeah.
Okay. And so when you told him
Dude,
that it
after
was a
8 or 9
miscarriage,
miscarriages, you would think Darren would be like,
he
what the fuck's
never
wrong with you?
asked what you did with the
Something's off.
miscarriage. Okay.
It was hard to believe that Darren had simply stumbled upon the body in his garage without any clue where it could have come from.
How the fuck do you not
Could
know
he
that?
have known more than he was letting on? Meanwhile, back at the crime scene, officers made another grim discovery. The 6th and 7th bodies wrapped in sweaters and stuffed into a box inside a cabinet. It was a moment that left everyone reeling, but they still pressed on to determine if there were more than 7. They even searched Megan's former home in West Valley, leaving no stone unturned. While they found no additional bodies, they did uncover Xanax, marijuana, and drug paraphernalia, painting a bleak picture of her life. Megan Huntsman was arrested and booked into the Utah County Jail on 6 counts of murder.
Scary.
However, the case was far from complete. Still, there were pieces of the puzzle that didn't quite fit, and to fill in the gaps, investigators brought Darren in for questioning.
I'm Detective Dan Beckstrom. I'm still trying to talk to everybody, make sure I know that it's been a horrible day for a lot of you. So you're not in trouble right now. I'm just trying to understand everything that's happened. So she's saying that baby was a miscarriage after he went in prison.
That's what she told me. Is that what she's still saying?
Yes. We did get a search warrant in the house, and there's more than one. And so, how many times was your wife pregnant?
I have 3 daughters. And I know one other time that she had a miscarriage. I never even knew she was pregnant with 2 of my daughters until she was like 4 or 5 months along.
Makes sense.
And then she
Checks
told
out.
me, you know. I don't know, sir.
There's,
How many was it?
there was 7.
You were kidding me.
I'm not. She said that the first one was shortly after you moved into the house,
Oh my God.
and that the last one she was pregnant by you before you went to prison.
Wait, so she says they're all mine?
That's what she says. And that's why I'm glad you're here, because I would have thought that if she was pregnant 7 times in that
He kept attacking
10-year period you
Keep
lived in
this
that
game.
house,
God
that she would have
damn.
known.
I had to say, someone had to say it,
Oh,
bro.
damn, go hard in the paint for
That
18 years.
motherfucker
Dude, he
was
went hard in the
visibly
paint
shaken
for
by the
18 years.
disturbing
That motherfucker
revelations.
never missed
He
a game.
buried his face in his
Fuck no,
hands and
bro.
began to
Put on
sob
my
as the
Cal
weight of the
Bridges numbers, bro.
situation
You
hit
never
him
missed a
hard.
game, bro.
At all.
But despite
Never
his
missed a
tears,
game.
there was more he needed to explain.
You said you knew that she was pregnant once. Are you talking about one other time than the miscarriage, or are you talking about something else?
That's the only time I know. I was so messed up on freaking drugs and I don't know what was going on.
I can tell that you know about
Chat,
more
this is
than
why you never do
what you're
drugs.
telling me.
And by chat, I mean
Megan
Katie,
hid
she was the last person to type it in.
pregnancies from everybody until shortly before
It's
she
true,
had
bro. Don't
kids.
do 'em.
But you're saying that she told you when she was 4 months along. I believe that you knew about these pregnancies.
I swear to God, I never knew about all these pregnancies.
But what's happened here is tragic. But I don't think that you killed these babies and hid them. I think that you were married to a woman who was going to do it her way, and then you were done fighting with her, and so you allowed her to make these decisions. Is that what happened?
I never would think that she would put babies in a box and freaking...
So what did you think she was doing with these pregnant?
Well, let me tell you something, buddy.
She did it 7 times.
You thought wrong.
She did it 7
You
times.
thought wrong, brother
She
man.
did it 7 times.
You fucking thought wrong. Holy shit.
Let's see.
I'm making an impeccable time right now.
I didn't realize she was pregnant 7 freaking times.
I'm a married man. You know your wife's pregnant. And so she's telling me that the only one that you weren't around for is when you went to prison.
Honest to God, I
When
didn't
the fuck
know
this
that there was
motherfucker got?
7
2002?
babies in my garage.
I don't know what
I
the
never
fuck
knew
the
there
timeline
was
is. I don't know.
Do you think I would go out and clean the garage and then, you know what I mean?
I understand where you're coming from. I'm not saying you knew they were in the garage, but I'm saying you had to know that they were brought into the world.
Even though Darren claimed he had no idea about the pregnancies,
Boxer,
the detective wasn't ready to
Never
accept
claimed
at
to
face
be a
value.
fighter.
Your wife has admitted to some crimes, to some horrible things. She admits that she killed some of them after they were born. Like I said, she's being completely honest,
But
and I really wish you were too.
what do you
honest.
want me to say? I didn't know she was killing kids, and I didn't know she was put in boxes. I don't know how they do it. I don't know how she could give birth and then...
Yeah, how could you murder someone
I
and
don't
give
know.
birth to?
I don't know, bro. It's a weird situation that we're
Were you
witnessing.
there when any of these were born?
Why'd you make me click on this one, bro?
No, sir.
It is, but fuck.
No, sir. I swear.
What we want to do is we want to do what's right, and we want to have closure for these children. We want to have closure for your kids that are alive, for these babies' grandparents. I mean, these babies were in a garage for years.
I never knew that, though. I never knew that.
Yo, this motherfucker has the craziest poker face of all time.
Dude, I could never be an interrogator. Can you imagine to sit there and listen to people commit, like talk about these horrible crimes and you gotta go home and like. Darren, I don't know about Darren.
Something's off. I just know there's something there.
Darren.
This is looking bad. I had no idea
What the fuck,
she was
Darren?
I just know there's something
killing
there.
the kids and putting them in boxes. I swear to God. Okay. But I wanted to turn though. Wouldn't you?
I can't give you that advice. I'm not in your situation.
What the fuck's he need an attorney for? Why the fuck would he say that?
Dumbass.
Okay. Alright, hold on just a second. We'll get you upstairs in just a minute.
Although Darren seemed like a potential suspect in the case, there was no evidence to link him to the murders. Eventually, Darren requested an attorney, bringing the interrogation to an abrupt end. What worked in his favor was a simple but strong point. If he had known about the bodies in the garage, it was unlikely he would have started cleaning it so soon after his release from prison. Darren was released from custody, and the investigation moved forward with Megan still behind bars.
She needs a statement. Dude, those eyes that's fucking scary.
Custody, and the investigation moved forward with Megan's.
That looks like a person.
I can't even look at that, you know? That shit scared the fuck out of me. But you're telling me you don't see that. And that doesn't strike goddamn murder, do you? GTA.
Still behind bars.
That's
all the evidence collected from the garage, including the boxes, plastic bags, and layers of duct tape, was sent to the lab for analysis, and the results were conclusive. Every single fingerprint belonged to Megan. Not a trace of Darren's prints was found on any of the items. With this, the focus shifted to the medical examiner, where DNA testing was conducted to confirm the father of the babies. The results were as expected. Darren was the biological father of all 7 children. However, one heartbreaking fact remained clear. During their entire 10 years of living together, and even after he went to prison in 2006, Darren had no idea he had fathered 7 children. Megan had hidden everything from him and everyone else. It was now time for the final decision.
Justice for 6 babies killed right after birth by their own mother as she pleads guilty to 6 counts of murder.
And the judge gave her the maximum sentence that could keep her locked up for the rest of her life.
On February 12th, 2015, Megan was formally charged with 6 counts of first-degree murder. Having admitted to killing 6 of her children, while claiming one was stillborn, she was sentenced to 6 terms of 5 years to life to be served consecutively, which meant she would spend the rest of her life in prison. The case left everyone involved deeply shaken. It was incomprehensible how a mother could commit such horrific acts. It also highlighted the devastating impact of drugs, which had completely destroyed Megan's mental health and led her down this dark and tragic path.
Megan had a family that she was raising. But on the flip side of that coin, she also had 7 dead children in her garage that she had murdered. I don't know what her motive was. I don't care what her motive was. But the fact of the matter is she did it, and that was unfathomable to me.
What are your thoughts on this case? Was it just drugs which led to Megan killing her children, or were there some other dark motives?
Jesus Christ,
How did Darren not know anything about his